Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Dog Connection Show.
Hey, good morning.
Yeah,
good morning, Lon.
I'm in the bark house, if you can hear it. Oh, my goodness. So anyway, Lon, you haven't met, this is the first time you're meeting Roman, and Roman has been a host on the show for about 6-8 months now. And Roman, Lon has been on the show probably 5 times now. I think this is maybe your 5th or 6th time on the show. Wow. And we love having Lon. In the past, he had a dog named Gander, who was just a fabulous service dog, and you might want to talk about what Gander was about. And then we went through Gander getting very ill, and then, of course, he passed away, and that left a big hole for Lon in his life for a long period of time, because Gander was connected to him at the hip. And Gander brought so much joy and so much help to him. So, Lon, if you wouldn't mind explaining to us what it is that you do and what Gander was all about.
Well, we started Operation Fetch because of Gander. We got asked by the service dog agency that trained him if we would enter him into a couple of contests online and would give them more visibility and maybe earn them some money and, and donations and stuff. So we did that, and Gander being Gander ended up, drawing in, 250,000 and, up to 500,000 people on social media over time. So we wanted to make that do something, we wanted to do something good with that. So we started doing planned acts of community kindness around the country. And that evolved with all of our traveling. We went to 46 states, and doing that, we found a lot of things that we needed, we thought needed more help. And that was people who needed dogs. We needed reformation in service dog laws, homeless people. We found homeless vets all over the country that needed assistance. So we started providing all that. And Gander was the impetus and the power behind all of that. And, he always, and he just became just a healing force online for thousands and thousands of people. And it was an amazing 7.5-year journey, with him.
Well, more importantly, Lon, I know that you have always been a real giver all of your life, and you have been giving on so many levels. What is it that Gander gave to you?
Oh, Gander saved my life. I mean, I wouldn't have done any of that hadn't it been for him. I mean, I had gotten to the point where I had been, I'd done a lot of public speaking. I was a professor. I was a very out there and very public person. And, I really couldn't do much anymore at all. I mean, groups of 5 would absolutely terrorize me, and I had spoken to groups, 5,000-10,000 people at a time. And Gander created that, Gander broke down all those barriers, and also made it so easy to be with people. And, everybody immediately that met him loved him, so yeah. And he was so well trained. He knew when things were going on with me, and it was a magical relationship. It was biggest loss of my life, actually, to lose.
Yeah, him. I know. I'm almost gonna cry over it. Just following the journey, and you were wonderful in sharing your journey. I'm sorry, didn't mean to bring you to tears, Lon.
Oh, you're fine.
Yeah, I can just feel you tearing up, though. But I know it was magical being with him, because he was that special dog that was able to get into your heart on many levels.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody who ever met him knew that. I mean, it was like we always, all of our dogs are special, and they all, and they're all part of our family. But I think anybody who ever met him in person got it. They understood. And Gilly, you met him, and you understood what a man.
Yeah, Gaetan, real quick, tell us your experience when you met, because Gaetan had the opportunity to actually be there and interview Lon with Gander, and this was already a year and a half ago already.
Yes.
A couple years.
Yeah. And all dogs I met in my life, this is the human size of dog. He was, for me, when I come across and I met Gander, was like, whoa, there's something special with this dog. There's something almost human in this dog. Yeah. And I came to believe, well, it was the incarnation of a human. He's coming back as a human, and he's going to do great. But he was very, very exceptional dog.
And wasn't there one thing that you had said, Gaetan, which I thought was that was interesting, is didn't you say that when you were approaching Lon, that all of a sudden Gander just very quietly came right in front of you as like the protective shield against Lon, and that wasn't something he was trained to do, from what I understand. That was just something instinctive that he did.
Yes, he did that. I arrived a little bit. I was slightly late, and I arrived with a piece of equipment and a tripod and a case, and I rushed. Oh, Lon. But the dog came and gently positioned himself very sweetly between me and Lon, and so was like, okay, nice to meet you. And I put my thing down, and slowly and surely I tried to put my camera and start doing the filming there. And I was using very little equipment, and I was like, but it was a unique experience, definitively an exceptional dog.
Yeah.
And the relation between Lon and Gander was no less exceptional.
Right.
There was just like a silent communication between them. And that was very impressive.
Yeah, well,
really impressive.
That's what I was going to say to Lon now. Lon, a lot of what you said when you first had Gander, that it was instinctive, that the training that he had, he just instinctively knew how to connect to you and what your needs were. And you were almost like amazed. How did he know how to do this? But he just did. He became your protector.
Well, he did that with everybody. We were, I think one of the first times I noticed it, we were in Denver. We were still kind of in training. We were at, and some homeless folks were up on the Capitol Hill. There's a lot of homeless people on Capitol Hill. And a guy came in and sat behind us, and Gander got up, and uncharacteristically, he's not supposed to go visit other people without consent. And he just went over and leaned against this guy and laid down on his foot. And I went, what's going on? And I said, and I was really embarrassed. I got up and apologized. I said, I'm sorry, and the guy said, no. I said, maybe you just needed cheering up or something. I was talking fast. And I went, I do. He said, I was diagnosed with terminal stomach cancer yesterday.
Oh,
and from that time on, Gander probably did that no less than 50 or 60 times with people. And every time he did it that way, I would always ask the question, what's going on with you? And George, who travels with us place. Yeah. George, who now travels with us, Mark was with us for years. And he did the same thing with George one week. He went over, laid down at George's feet. And I said, have you been to the doctor lately? And he said, yeah, like a couple days ago. And he said, I just got diagnosed with some serious stuff. So yeah, Gander, in the running line was Gander knows. And he did know.
And one of the reasons that Roman is a co-host on the show is he has a holistic dog training service, but he also does a lot of inner work with the dogs, from their mind and the levels of why do they do these things. So Roman, I want to ask you, when Lon talks about Gander and you see that Gander has that connection and just is able to perceive that there's an illness, I'd love to hear your reasoning behind that. Oh boy, look at
I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, we see it.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm preparing a workshop, and the theme is we are all connected. We have to question is how.
Yeah.
So we have scientific evidence since 1994, I think, that it is a fact. It's kind of like the Newton law. It just falls down if you let it go. And scientists basically struggle with it. So my approach is basically understanding how we are connected and how it applies into animal care and our relationships, and understand the deeper meaning of our relationships and why it's important to establish that healthy, secure attachment relationship and what dogs are here for to do. So I first of all I want to thank you for your service in any means, and the way you inspire people, because you are connected as well. And so your dog, you, everybody else is connected. Now there are some people, some special people who have a special work to do, is to shine light on those connections and make it kind of pop out and says, this is how my connection works, this is how his connection works.
Sure.
So people can recognize I am part of it, and empower them to step back into their power. Because usually what's happening through those traumatic incidents, we're being put in a victim state of mind, not voluntarily, and we have hard time getting out. And the whole system around that is there to keep you in that victim state of mind. And some people like you say, no, prove.
Yeah.
After our conversation, after our interactions, after you acknowledge that relationship, you will feel better. And it's a fact. It's not a theory. It's not I'm coming up with ideas. It is a fact. It's a universal fact. If one matter affects the other and the one matter is gone, the other matter is loose.
Sure.
No control. It's out of control. So the reason why we are organized as a universe is because we understand internally that we are connected, and we just have people like you to kind of pop it out and point the finger on it. This is how it works. How does a dog know that you have a problem? How do you feel better with that dog just being there without physically touching you yet? What is this?
Yeah, my wife is in China. She's a Silk Road professor, and she taught at Yale, taught at Berkeley. And she so she knows a lot. She knows a lot of Silk Road history, and she said that she believed that Gander and I had been monks in another life, and she thought Gander was a bodhisattva. And echoing what you said, she said a bodhisattva in Buddhist lore is somebody who delays going on to nirvana, has already reached enlightenment, but delays going on to nirvana because they want to teach other people how to get there. And I think that really was his role.
Yeah.
And he was unbelievably special. So and then at that time, before I got Gander, I was active on social media. I think they did that. Facebook did that experiment, that 6 degrees of separation experiment. And I think at the time they would tell you what your degree of separation was from anybody in the world. And I think I was 1.7. And then after Gander, I'd love to see what it was after Gander, because it probably went down like to 1 or below 1. It's crazy. It was like, all of a sudden, synchronistic things happened all over the world. It was like, it was wonderful.
I'm going to say hi to a couple of people here. We got Ron. Hi, Ron. That's my brother. Hi, Dale. I got Stephanie here. Hey, Stephanie. Got Joe Smith from Australia. And we've got Jack. This is Lean from Gander had a way of dissolving all the problems of the day. Miss him greatly. And then also, hello from Michigan from Merrill. I'm sorry, again, we've got the landscaper in the background here, so I'm going to try and talk. I don't know how to stop him. It's a neighbor's. So, yeah, I know. It's always at that time. I think we're going to have to ask them to change it. So anyway, Lon, getting back to what it is, why we want to talk here today. We wanted to talk about what's happening with the vets, but more importantly, you have a new program about volunteers for your Operation Fetch. Tell us about that.
The pandemic caused, issues, I think, for every nonprofit in the world. Ours is a small nonprofit. Nobody gets paid a dime, when they work with us. And we have such great people, doing stuff with us. But but normally we would do some national conferences. The speaking fees would go toward what we do. Normally we do pet expos, and we have like dog treats that we sell. We have, and we did those this year, but we had the annual coffee fundraiser, where we end up, people buy coffee and then we send that to troops overseas. This year we sent over, I think, about 600 pounds. Then we have a treats for the troops, which is like some homemade, it's like treat crack, and that's made by Snarf Foods here in the area, and she does that, and then we send that also overseas, and I think she sold several hundred bags of those. It's so we still have those, but the majority of our income like just dried up. So we were only able to make 3 strong trips this year, and we delivered probably about $90,000 worth of stuff to homeless veterans between here and Colorado, and sleeping bags, survival equipment, and then we did a lot of other things on the side, things we already had, like hearing aids, wheelchairs, those kinds of things. Whenever there's a need, we do what we can, and we do little small things too. Somebody wants flowers put on a grave, like of a relative who died, in war or something, then we'll make sure that happens. And so or just last week there was I think you saw it on the page. There was a couple of sisters who had another sister pass away, and she happened to mention to me they'd never gotten a birthday card, and so I put it out into the community and then blocked her from being able to see it, and she got dozens of birthday cards from all over the world. And then one of the members of the community who lives about an hour away actually took him a birthday cake. So, I mean, little things like that, it's those little things that make, that make life worth living, for a lot of people. So this year we've got some ways, we created some new ways we hope that are going to fund our adventures. We also it was a disaster that my Porsche Shadowfax, my van, the van that we use for everything that belongs to the charity, has now been hit by other people, I think a total of 8 times. So we got hit again, $5,000 worth of stuff, and then the engine went out. That was a huge repair, and it's not that old a van. So we're really in need of a new vehicle. So that's going to be one of the first priorities. And then we want to get a few dogs trained for folks as we travel around. So I'll give you kind of an outline. We want to go on a 2-year tour of America. We want to hit all the states this next time, all the lower 48, and we want to do we did TAPS. I don't know if you remember, about 3 years ago. We did 365 TAPS ceremonies, and we played TAPS at national cemeteries and anywhere we could, Red Rocks, concert halls, in the side malls, everywhere we could do it. And we would read the names of 22 veterans who had been lost to suicide. And then we would invite people from the community who had lost someone to suicide because of veteran service. And we'd have them read the names of the 22, plus adding the name of whoever was lost in their family. And it became one of the most amazing healing journeys I've ever known in my life. A lot of people don't know that I taught psychology for almost 40 years. And it was a powerful experience, really. 365 very emotional days and some great experiences along the way. So we want to be able to do that again. We want to visit the national parks and things like that. One of the ways we're going to fund that, we got 2 calendars that we want to do this year. Everybody does these 12-month calendar contests, and they usually have a prize for it and stuff. But that means like dozens of people lose out, who want to be in the calendar. We want to do a 365-day calendar, flip calendar for the desk. And we want to have 365 people's pets on it with a little blurb about who they are and what they mean to the family. And we'll call it an all-American pet calendar. And so people will be able to go online.
Anybody's pet, or would this be a service dog pet?
No, your pet. And then you'll be able to, and it'll be a contest, but the grand prize, there'll be 2 grand prizes, one that'll get drawn from anybody. And of course, 365 people are going to be in this calendar, which is going to be really, really cool. And we'll have, like we did with Gander's calendar, some really cool sayings and stuff. And and the grand prizes are very cool. Gander had his own wine, and Gander had his own coffee. And so it'll be a case of wine branded for your dog or your pet, and a case of coffee, and a case of puppy breath candles with your dog, or whatever scent you choose. And those come from Prairie Fire Winery in Kansas. And then the coffee shop here, Hansa, that does our annual work for the troops, they'll do the coffee. And then we'll also going to have an honor calendar where you'll be able to do that and honor somebody who's currently serving in the service, or in memoriam for somebody that who served, and a little blurb about them. And so not only will we put the calendars up, but we'll also put up their face and their bio online, and people will get to visit that. So
these are all true stories then,
yes.
and real pictures of real people that there's a story behind it.
Yeah, won't that be cool?
Yeah.
And so whoever brings in, it'll be $20 to get in the thing. That gets you into the calendar somewhere. It's a little bit more if you want a specific date nailed down. And again, all of that money that goes to fetch, for all the things that we're going to be doing this year. And then also the same for the honor calendar. And then we're also in a few days, we're going to have a garage sale. And anybody who wants to throw something in the garage sale will have a place where they can go, and it'll be like a silent auction, and they can bid on things. And we've got some really nice stuff. We've got a $1,500 diamond ring. We've got a $1,000 purse. We've got some and some stuff that's affordable, some really cool stuff. So we need to work really hard to make up lost ground so we can get back on the road and do the things we're used to doing. We've got another trip to make to Colorado. This year we've already, we took like 400 coats, almost 100 survival bags, all kinds of things, on 3 different trips. But we've got a lot more we need to get out. We've got a full storage shed. Yeah. And all of our treats that we normally sell, the sad part was, it was good. We ended up just donating them away because we couldn't sell them, and we didn't want them to stale date. So we gave $15,000 worth of treats this year to area shelters and to police departments for their dogs. So
Lon, one of the things I think people are not aware of that you do, what you actually do is you help vets.
Mm-hmm.
You help the homeless. You go out and you bring them clothing, because every time I see a post, you're always talking about you saw some guy that you can't imagine how they ended up, but they ended up hard on their luck. They're a vet. They've got PTSD. And you want to bring them back up and make their life whole again.
Sure. Yeah, we gave out about 400 coats this year. Normally we do about 800. We did 400 coats this year, and survival bags, and we're boots on the ground. We go where a lot of other folks don't go. We find people that you normally, that even sometimes the homeless counts don't pick up. And these are guys, mostly a lot of them down on their luck. They're not there because they're drug addicted and that kind of thing. A lot of them, I've had people come up and say, absolutely, I'm not drug addicted. I don't panhandle. I don't do this. I don't do that. I said, so what is it you need? I need a tent. I need a sleeping bag. I need whatever, the police came and took my tent, or I got, my sleeping bag was stolen by, somebody, while I was gone during the day, whatever. And we'll help them out. So.
One thing I would like to point out is, and you can clarify that, you're not going to a building where homeless are there.
No, we do a little bit
Can
of that.
you
There's a new place in Colorado Springs, Salvation.
No, Army. But your core.
But yeah, we get down to where they
are. Tell us where you go. Give us an example where you go, because people don't realize where you go and what you do, especially in Colorado and Denver area.
Yeah, one of the places is right on the Fountain River, and there, a lot of people camped along the Fountain River, and a lot of the hardcore veteran guys won't come up from the river, and every year, guys end up drowning down there. We were at the Salvation Army shelter, and we gave them some things they really needed because they're really overstressed. They have 70 veterans that they work with in their area, and that's been. And then there's another. I think the day we were there, they had 85 people in line for 55 beds. So that meant, 30 people were going to get turned away. And I asked the guys, and there were another probably another 70 guys down on the river that weren't going to get help at all. So we go down there, we see what they need, open up the back of the van, and you'd be amazed at how community oriented these guys are. I mean, they usually have kind of informal leadership, and the guys take care of one another. They say, "Oh, do you have an extra this because the woman down the way, she needs this," or I've never had anybody if I come there with food or things like that, I've never had anybody hoard anything from us. It's been amazing.
I have a question, Lon.
Yeah. Amy.
From training/behavior perspective, what are the things that those veterans struggling with their dogs when they have some?
It's interesting. Those guys, their first priority, like especially the homeless guys, their first priority is the dog. And you'll see the dog has a jacket when they don't. You'll see the dog has, blankets when they don't. You'll see the dog has food when they don't. And so, for them, there is a food pantry in Denver that helps out a lot of these people, a pet food pantry. And but food is a big issue for them. Booties for the dogs, collars, leashes. A couple of dogs had been injured because they chewed through their leash, got in the way, and of course they're usually by traffic areas. A lot of the homeless camps, because they want to get access to fast food places and things like that. So you've got dogs you've got a lot of tripod dogs in the camps and things like that. So adaptive equipment is helpful. Yeah. So a lot of things like that. And we help.
The reason why I'm asking is because I do have a service that when I work with people online, I have this kind of like paid forward option. Mm-hmm. And so people donate time, cool. Basically training time.
Sure.
So, and I know most veterans don't usually have a phone, or they have one with limited data and all these things. So I was wondering, is there anything that we can offer for them?
Yeah, that's a yes. I mean, there are a lot of guys, what I'm finding is a lot of guys get confused about what a service dog is. And they don't necessarily need a dog for a disability. They need a dog because for one reason or another, there's nobody left in their life. Hi. And so they need a good skilled companion. So, and they do have access to phones and iPads and things like that. So that would be wonderful. I'd love to be able to say, hey, you want your dog to be able to do this or be able to do that, and
right.
Here's somebody that can help you do that. Yeah, that would be.
Let's talk. Yeah, let's talk about that, because I think I have a couple of programs in mind. One is basically an online thing where you basically log in and take your class, basically understanding the basics without having to listen to somebody in particular in a particular time. It will be kind of like learn as you go, day by day, more or less, and being able to pick up specific issues that you have and go in there and read out of that. And then as a bonus track, if you need more help than that, then I can step in with those donated hours.
That's awesome.
I know I have it for many years, and for some weird reason, after COVID, people start paying into it. I mean, it's not thousands of dollars, don't take me wrong. But like $40 here, $40 there, maybe in a week, like 4 or 5 people donating. But that's important time. So far, I offer that to people with these disabilities or with in turmoil in the local community, where I don't want to spend time traveling because I can deal with that online. So I use that there, and I add the half on top of it because it's also my time too. So I think we should talk about that.
Oh, it's a wonderful idea. Yeah. A lot of the guys are just lonely, but they also need, they need skilled companions. Yeah, it'd be great. Yeah, most guys don't need a service dog. Yeah, I don't think most guys know how difficult it is to make your way through life with a service dog. It's to have a dog with you 24/7 is a lot of work, So wonderful work, but a lot of work, right, May?
Especially, especially when you want the dog to perform a function that you can't do, and the service dog is nowhere in sight. That's an issue sometimes, right? Oh, look at there's May. Look at it. Let's all say hi to May. Hi, May.
Hey, May.
May. Yoo-hoo.
People talking to me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Hear the sound, and she's like, Where are we? What are we doing?"
Well,
She's calling me.
I do these animated dogs. I should do one of May.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Her talking, and what do you think she says to you when she gives you those looks? Because you always post about what May is feeling for that day.
Yeah, she's yeah, I don't know. I think she May worries about me, I think.
Yeah.
Well, but she's developed a really strong and very independent personality, and I love it. She knows when she's got stuff to do, but when she's able to just run wild, she has a great time, and she looks at me like it's time to do that. I mean, her new thing is to come up in my face, and she has kind of a weird little sound that she'll make, which means like, I'm bored, quit doing what you're doing, take care of me, let's go. And yeah.
Okay, so let's look at some of the websites that you want people to know about. We know that we want them to go to Operation Fetch Volunteers, and now are there any requirements that they need to be a volunteer for Operation Fetch?
No, when there's going to be a variety of things they can do. One is like, to help promote the calendar contests, and we get them to do that. And then when we start traveling, we'd like people to let us know in advance, people that are going to need help in different communities. Let us know in advance, where we might be able to camp along the way, or to stay cheaply, where people might want to hear a talk about service dogs, or organizations that need to talk about service dog law and the human canine connection. We've spoken at medical schools, veterinary schools, Walmart, Starbucks, we all over the country. So we're able to do that. We can go do a reading hour with the kids at the library. So we want people to be able to help set that up as we do our travels around the country this next couple of years. We need people then to also then help find things for us when it comes time. We put up an Amazon list once a year, and things that we're going to need. And then we've got a group here that gets together, and we get a long line, and we pack the survival bags and then take those out to the camps, so people can help. It's always better for people. I don't know that we ever directly ask for money. There's a way to donate on that page, on our store page, but we like to go out and actually earn our dough if we can, and that feels better to us. I mean, if you've been on the page long enough, I don't know if you've ever seen us ask for money.
No, you haven't. But you do always talk about that. Whatever somebody buys or purchases, that a percentage of the proceeds is going to help.
Yeah, anything that on the store, 100% goes to Fetch. And,
okay, so let's look at your store here. I'm going to put the link into your store here.
Yeah, 100% of the money goes there.
Let's look at that.
I'm going to put a few more books up there now. We've got a book, we've got several other things, but and the calendar, like I say, the calendar is going to go up there soon. So people that want that, and also the rummage sale is going to be a lot of fun. I mean, that's going to be like a silent auction thing. So I really hope people participate. Are you?
Oh, you know what? I just remembered this. That's right. Gander was a hero dog, wasn't he? He won the award. Yeah,
he was the AKC award for canine excellence in 2014, and the AHA service dog hero dog of the year in 2016. He was the Rotary Club Humanitarian Patriot Award winner. He was the it went on and on and on. So he and all rightful recognition.
Okay, and then the last area here is this was Gander's service page, and you've still kept this up because you've got well over 200,000 fans on there, understandably so. And now May has really taken over.
Sure.
In terms of your data, and I see you posted our show here. Yay! Thanks, Lon. I'm going to like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
we talk a lot about May and Finn on there. So.
Okay, so what is it that you want to? What is it that we can help you with? We already talked that Roman is going to help from a education standpoint. What else can we do to support you? We know that you're a supporter. By the way, Lon is a paid supporter of the Dog Connection, which we highly appreciate, and we've been a long-term friend. So, what is it that we can do for you?
Yeah, I think getting people over to the volunteer network, and I'll post things from time to time about what people can do and how they can help, and especially when we start the journey, when we lay out the map about where we're going to go, I really want people involved, because we want to do a lot of interviews along the way. We want to talk to people about all kinds of things. And now that we have all the photo equipment we need and stuff, we have the drone, we have we can do underwater stuff. We can do everything, so people can point us to places. And as we travel, I want to show people a different kind of America. One of the things that's happened in the last few years is we become so disconnected, and there's so much animosity. What I want to do is get people back to seeing what a extraordinary country this is, and the wonderful, beautiful people in it, that especially been on Gander's page. If you go to Gander's page, one of the things you realize is that in the 8 years that we've had that page, that I don't think you've ever seen a negative word spoken on that page. And that's the kind of ethos we want to have during the trip. We want to,
right, instead of the social media bashing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's not permitted. But you know what? We haven't had to intervene. People just seem to know that that's a place for positivity and a place to lift one another up. And we've built literally hundreds of sub communities. I mean, there are friendships that have grown out of that page that you can barely imagine. It's all over the country. It's been a real. Somebody called it once, and it was a really negative comment, but somebody called it the cult of Gander, and I went, well, the difference in a cult and in a really supportive community is there's always some kind of designated leader who benefits, and in this case, the community benefited, and anytime anybody's needed something, everybody stepped up to the plate and helped. It's been extraordinary.
Yeah.
Talking of help, you mentioned your need for a van, so that should be put there to the public, that there's a need for a van, and that's one of the need. If you want to move around and bring good thing to people, a transportation is a requirement, right?
Oh my God, yeah. And we have to be able to tow things. We've got.
Yes, I saw your I saw your house.
Your mobile house.
Your mobile house.
Yeah.
This guy has a humongous trailer and live in it. It's at least 9 feet long.
I think it's actually 8 feet long.
I was exaggerating again. But he has a big.
It has under the floor heat. It has a shower. Has a sink. It only weighs 1,700 pounds. It's really an extraordinary little thing. But we'd like to have a van that we can build out.
Use it to pull it. And for me, when I saw your trailer, it was an image of how modest you are and how humble you are. You give your time freely. You're not receiving salary. You're not asking money. And you're always on the road helping and providing support. And people need to know that. Yeah. And there's no BS with him, by the way. No BS with whatever he's doing. He is what you see, what you get. There's no BS to it, and I love that.
Thanks.
And people need to support you and provide you transportation and everything you need to carry on the mission you have, and I salute that.
Yeah.
We try to do everything cheaply. You know, a lot of people, we make them shudder in some of the places we stay across the country. You know,
One thing I learned from you or about you is for each dollar of donation you receive, you spend $1.25.
yeah, that's about right. So or more this year, more.
Or more.
But
$1.33 because donation were scared last year. Anyway, so he's very generous. He's not paid. He's not collecting money. He's a very humble servant of fellow human being. And I salute that. And I would like people to understand how important and how rare. Don't put my picture. This is the guy. Lon is the guy who needs to be supported there. He's the guy doing the job. And we need to tell our people and let the world know the quality of the work he's doing. Thank you, Lon, for what you're doing. Thank you.
Thanks for saying all that. And like I said, we work so hard to like do things cheaply. It's almost comical sometimes. I mean, somebody called me the other day and they said, "Hey, the van that's now kind of limping along because we put so many miles on it and had so many accidents, but somebody called and said, 'Wow, you got such a great deal on that van. It listed for $32,000 and we got it for 19 title tags off the lot and she said, "Well, how quickly can I get one like that?" I said, "Well, we looked for it for a year and a half."
Yeah.
We waited till we had the perfect deal and now we have a deal. We've been offered a chance for a Sprinter van that we can build out inside cheaply. And that can do everything we need it to do, and they're gonna sell it to us at cost at the dealership. So
people, we need a Sprinter van, and I have experience with Sprinter van. I have a production company, you know that.
Yeah.
And I travel from Chicago to Washington D.C. for a production. We have about 12,000 pounds of equipment in the van.
Oh my God.
And one of the things which was spectacular, we traveled back and forth, and when we came back, we did the average, and this thing did 22 miles to the gallon.
Yeah.
So it's a very efficient vehicle.
Yeah.
It's very well built. It's done by a Mercedes-Benz. I'm not pitching the brand, but this is probably the smartest van to get for what he's doing. So, sir, ladies and gentlemen, please get the message.
I'm going to put here, Lon needs a van.
The way we're going to get that is if everybody buys a spot on that calendar for their dog, and then you get a copy of the calendar for being in it. So the contest will go up in a couple of days, and we really want everybody involved.
Okay, then we'll go back to this show and we'll put in that link, and we'll actually do it once you launch that. We'll do a show on maybe for next week. We'll do the launch of the show. Okay.
It's going to be
where is the? Are you in the Chicago area?
Yeah. Right now I'm up in Lincolnshire in that area, but we'll be headed to. We're headed back to Colorado here in a few days, hopefully. So, yeah, the car had some more issues, so I was supposed to take off a couple of days ago, but the power steering suddenly went out. It was like this cascade of things that happened with the.
You need a van, ladies and gentlemen. You need a van. No argument, no ask, no if, no but. You need a van.
But we were putting on 60,000 miles a year on that thing, So
yeah,
we really ran it hard. But that you're right about the Sprinters. They can easily do 300,000 miles.
Or more. Yes, they're remarkable.
Yeah.
Excellent vehicle. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you know the message. You know what is needed.
Yeah.
If you want to appear in the calendar, you and your dog, go for it. But on top, you can add a small donation for the van, another $100 or something like that.
Yeah, right.
And a few of you get together, and it will be a done deal for Lon.
I hope so.
Hey, Roman, do you have a link that we can share with people for your ongoing thing, or do we do that later for the online training?
Yeah, please put that up.
Oh, you must have muted yourself.
Yes.
There you go.
Now we can hear you.
holisticdogtraining.org/online training.
Okay.
Double check it.
You can post the link on the in our
Online
message.
training.
Yeah. Holistic dog training / online training.
Okay. I'm going to put that up now. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody will have that. All right. What a great show, Lon. We're going to continue to follow this story, so plan on being with us every week. No.
Well, no, thank you guys for always being so supportive. It really means a lot. We're shy about that. We're shy about asking for a lot of things, but this is really important this year. And if we want to get the other stuff done, we got to get moving. So I'm excited about the two, especially the honor calendar too. It's going to be amazing. You can put your vet or your grandfather, or your dad up there, and have a keepsake for a long time. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Okay. Any last thoughts, Roman, Gaetan?
Well, I'm planning to sneak on you with the camera crew at some point and document your activity. As soon as we have the opportunity, we'll let you know.
Yeah.
I'm working on that because the pandemic put me in the cage for a year and a half.
All of us.
I'm getting my second vaccine in April. I'll be out of the cage as soon as it's possible.
Okay.
I'm scheduled for Johnson & Johnson. I'm going to have one and done. So
very good.
I will do a fundraiser, not basically how you call this, garage sales raiser, to collect items of people who have dogs. The collar is too small, the collar is too big. My dog passed away. I have leftover footballs. Make me a list of things that you usually need, and I see what I can get. And I would need an address where we can collect things and then send them to.
Yeah, I'm going to put it up on the wall, and people can actually just send me a picture, and we'll put them up. And then people buy them, and then you just mail them off to them. You can include the price of shipping in what you get out of it. It's going to be fun.
I'm talking about donating stuff that people already have.
And we need that all the time for homeless guys too. They're always in need of like a collar or a leash and that kind of thing for their dogs.
What I would say is I would collect them, and if I get the box together, I'm gonna ship it to you.
Awesome.
But I need to know what those people need, because it doesn't help me if I send you leashes and you have too many leashes and don't have no collars, kind of thing. Makes sense?
No collars, leashes, collapsible bowls.
Jackets,
I'll let you know.
Boots, different kind of boots.
Stuff that's easy to transport too. Yeah.
And carry around, obviously, because these people have basically everything in a backpack.
They've been bulldozing a lot of the camps lately, so it's so they lose things from time to time. So we want to make sure we can keep their dogs healthy and safe.
Well, again, Lon, thank you so much for your service. Namaste, sir. Namaste, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Yes, we are in awe of everything that you do and how well you do it, and your entire crew. God bless you all.
Great.
Thank you.
Okay.
Guys.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.